Welcome guys, welcome to Daily Crypto Trading. Today we're going to do a TA of MultiVAC. We are now in the final phase of the accumulation area on the Wyckoff schematic I have been talking about religiously. We have been expecting this move to the downside for the past 4 months. Now if you haven't watched my video, in the right corner there will be a playlist. I guarantee you guys, you will not be disappointed if you haven't watched these TAs. So go watch it, click the video and watch them, and then get back here again. I'm going to break this schematic down piece by piece. Afterwards, we're going to talk about the Bitcoin correlation, the Bitcoin dominance, what kind of effect it has for MultiVAC. We're going to talk about the team, a short bit, the fundamentals, the crypto fear greed index, the altcoin season, and much more. But you have to watch the whole thing before it makes any sense. And since you're still here, why not consider subscribe to the channel? Give this video a big thumbs up and join our Discord server. When that's out of the way, let's look at the daily chart and the Wyckoff schematic and break it down. And of course meant the weekly chart, not the daily. Now if you look at the Wyckoff can actually be broken down pieces because they are schematic inside a schematic. Now what does that mean? Well, if you ever have written about Wyckoff or the schematics, you know that this area that you guys are seeing right there is the accumulation area. And there's different points of something called UTAD and so on. I'm not going to get the depth of it, just understand there's a lot of, if you break it down, a lot of areas, a lot of phases. However, we're going to look at it as a whole picture. Alright, so we're going to look at this schematic, alright? So if you look at this schematic according to the Wyckoff, we were in the accumulation area, right? So last year we saw a huge accumulation area where people were buying the MultiVAC token because they believed in the project and so on. And a lot of people, just for the record, a lot of people got shaken off right here. But right over here, a lot of smart investors, as we call them, were buying up, right? Then we saw a big price surge, all right? Because the correlation with Bitcoin had a big price surge and all coins rallied with Bitcoin, of course. Then we had a reaccumulation zone right over here because they were building tension right there. And then we had the reaccumulation zone. And we had again big price surge. Remember, this is a 7x, all right? This is a huge jump from here to here. That's 700% gains already. Now, if you look at the risk trading emotions, imagine people in motion right now, almost making a 10x, all right? They were at a furious state. They were going to get rich. You probably read it, you probably saw it, you probably one of them maybe. And you saw, I'm going to get rich, this is a gem, this is going to get $1 billion market cap and so on, even though some people don't understand how the market cap works. But anyhow, a lot of people are thrilled in the theory says this is the most dangerous area there is, alright? If you can acknowledge your emotions, say, okay, maybe I should sell some of it, you are a trader, my friend, a true investor. However, people did not. They got a bit fearful because now we were in distribution phase and we saw a sudden price surge. Again, we call this area at the top UTAD in the Wyckoff. That's just mean an upwards, right? Before a shakedown. It's just shake out. You know, it's just to lure people in, right? To kick people in. This is the FOMO. Remember, these candlesticks are weekly candlesticks, all right? So there was a big distribution pattern unfolding, all right? So they were just going up and down, and suddenly we saw the big spike to the downside. Now again, to be fair, this was also correlated with Bitcoin's drop as always, because all coins are correlated with Bitcoin. However, and I was making videos at these times, we saw a redistribution pattern, and I was talking about these schematic, and just look how beautiful this unfold. Anyhow, we saw a redistribution phase right over here, and I was talking about we're going to get lower price. We will see some high swings and so on, which I also will trade, but I will not hold it before I saw another price range, which was around 0.004 and 0.003. This was the range I was talking about. And lo and behold, we came down to the accumulation area, the final phase of the Wyckoff. All right, this is how a lot of people are in panic. We are almost at capitulation, right? You guys can listen to the sentiment, just read the sentiment in Telegram and Twitter and so on. Of course, there's a fan base, there's some bots and so on. But if you read the sentiment, it was that the team was not working well, making an announcement, do something, right? They called the CEO, Shawn, do something about the price, even though he had no he can't, you know, do anything about the price. But this is the typical comments you hear from people who are new to crypto, or literally, you know, the economic world, because this is also in Forex. This also happens everywhere pretty much. If you're not a trader, you have no idea how this works, because charts works with human emotions, and when human emotion are in the capitulation area, that's also where the highest potential for earnings are. All right, in my opinion. Does that mean this accumulation area will hold? Absolutely not. There's no guarantee. Remember, guys, I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own due diligence before you invest in anything, or you might get yourself wrecked. Anyhow, we are, in my opinion, now in the accumulation area. All right, we saw prices all the way to 0.0035 as I was anticipating. Now we can go lower than this. I don't anticipate it, but if Bitcoin drops, we can go lower, guys. However, now what we need to do right now, what most likely will happen is there will be some price jump and there will be a lot of volatility, but we will pretty much go and consolidate in these price ranges, right? You guys are seeing some jumping in the price. I saw a sentimenting switch suddenly from panic to we're going to get rich again, right? These kind of things piss me off. I don't understand why people just don't see this as I do. But to be fair, I have been trading for many years. Anyway, we are, in my opinion, again in the final phase in the accumulation area. Now, this will not take days or weeks. Maybe it can take months before we see any upside. But understand that we need to consolidate as in this area. Remember, look, it took 2.5 months, almost 3 months before we saw a big price jump. All right, now this can take 3 months or 2 months or maybe a year, who knows? I don't have a crystal ball, but I do believe we have bottomed out and we are in this accumulation area. I will personally buy. Now in this trend line I built right there, this is also where there was a resistance because we never surpassed it in any range, right? So once we break that, that means we are consolidating. All right, if we keep staying in the weekly, I have also talked about the price cycle of Wyckoff. This is extremely important to understand as an investor. Now we have areas where we call it an oversold area. The name says itself is an area where things are way too oversold. All right, but that's also the accumulation area. So if you guys are watching, again, I have been talking about this religiously. Have you watched my Wyckoff video? Go and check it out. It will be in the right corner of the playlist, or just search for the Wyckoff schematic for MultiVAC. You will find my video. But if you guys are seeing here, these were clearly the oversold area, right? Now the demand is greater than the supply. That just means there's a lot more money than the supply. And you know, when the demand is greater than the supply, economic 101, the price search for the upside. All right. Now we're in the distribution area, where again we have the UGAD, as I talked about the Wyckoff, but we have way too much supply and way too less demand, right? The liquidity is getting thin. All right, so that just means a lot more sellers than there's buyers, and when there's a lot more sellers than there's buyers, of course the price will tank. All right, we have the overbought area and we have it marked down. Now we can also look at this, is just the same thing. We can also look at it this way, because the price never goes something like this. It always goes like a zigzag, right? Like a candlestick. So this is again the oversold area, accumulation, a large interested in buyers out there. We have the markup, and then we have the distribution area, and then we have the markdown. And I believe we are in the markdown and getting at the oversold area. Now we just need to consolidate and be there. Now we just need a lot more demand. Now when demand comes in, aka it can be the team just deliver something new to MultiVAC, the roadmap's getting finished, anything, a node is presented, something like that, right? Something about the hype. All right, some whales will get in, all right, and this will start all over the Wyckoff price cycle. Now, I haven't drawn that. People think this is an ugly drawn. I do understand, and as you guys see in here, and yes, please don't comment this. I know it's not the most pretty one, but this is the oversold area, overbought, and oversold area. Let me just remove that because that is not pretty at all. But if you guys get the point, in my opinion, again, we are in the oversold area. And let us also compare this to the MACD, where the oversold and overbought areas are. I actually posted on my Twitter as well. So if you guys haven't followed my Twitter, go check my Twitter out and follow me as well. And just let's look at it and break it down, guys. So down here you guys can see this is the weekly chart, and this was a few days I posted this. This is the weekly chart right there. This was last year. Again, the MACD is showing in the histogram we are overbought, and just look what happened. We went down. The histogram are now telling us what? We are oversold. And remember, these price action you guys are seeing, is a 500%, 700% gains. All right, it might look small, but these are huge jumps to the upside or to the downside. But as you guys see here, look how beautiful the histogram, the MACD is telling us in the weekly that we are down. But certainly we are changing momentum to the upside. This is where there was 700% gains. This is where a lot of big YouTubers, not going to mention any names, were talking about this and, you know, hyping the coin up and all that, but not talking about the downside potential as well. And then some small YouTubers and all kind of people talking about it, where the price of the MultiVAC token were, you know, hyped up. And we saw suddenly at the MACD, it was telling us the momentum was about to switch to the downside. And lo and behold, we went down. All right. And these areas, again, oversold areas. Let me just show you. Do you guys see? Overbought areas right there. And the momentum change and marked down, right? Now, suddenly, look what we're seeing. The momentum, the histogram are saying now that we are changing momentum to the upside. Is this any guarantee? Of course not. We can stay here for some time. Again, this is based on the weekly, but it is looking more bullish in my opinion. Something else I posted 2 weeks ago. Again, if you haven't followed my Twitter, go and follow it. I posted was this chart. This chart was from MultiVAC from 2020 before we saw huge upside. Now this looked like the Wyckoff as well, doesn't it? Again, I have been talking about this, but this again looked like Wyckoff. Accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution, redistribution, accumulation, reaccumulation, and a big upside. Right? This does look very similar. It does look similar to this current situation. But where was it in the chart then, right? Because it is a big jump price, right? So let's zoom out. Oopsie daisy. There we go. And you will actually really surprised. This is the chart. And yeah, I know this is a ugly drawing. I'm talking about, look at these price levels. 0.0003. All right. Look at these gains. All right. Exactly as where we are now. The accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution, redistribution, accumulation, reaccumulation, and big price jump. All right, guys. Does this look similar to this and the previous chart you guys just saw? It looked exactly at this, right? And then we had a huge price jump. And you guys can't even see it now. It's just a blimp, right? Can't see it. Now, how much did we rally, right? So if we take from the bottom around this area, measure it, we rallied 7,742%. All right. And that is insane, guys. A 77x gains. All right. Now, of course, it didn't take just a week or so. It took months before this happened. And without these months, there were a lot of volatility. Remember, right after here, it crashed down again and then went back up again. So if your stomach can't handle volatility, this market might not be for you, and these kind of altcoins might not be for you because there will be a lot of volatility. However, risk to reward ratio, there's a high risk for this coin because it's a high risk coin, but there's huge reward to the upside. Something to notice about MultiVAC also is this is a micro low gem, alright? A 14 million market cap gem. So it's not high in market cap. And the way market cap pretty much works is just the current price multiplied with the circulating supplies and you get the market cap. So the reality is there's not 14 million in this token. There's maybe 1 or 2 million, not more than that. Because the reality is if you sold all the current circulating supplies, there will be a lot of panic and the price will surge down, so you might get 1 or 2 million out of this. However, the most important for me is the fully diluted market cap, and I'm going to explain you guys why. That is, let's for example say that the team owned the majority of the supply, right? And they just sold it out there, so it went to the circulating supply. So instead of 3.5 or 3.6 billion MTV, there were 10 billion MTV. So this fully diluted market cap are telling us we need a 40 million market cap instead of 14 to sustain these price levels. All right. Now you might ask yourself, that's actually still a lot, and you're probably right, but not compared if it was $400 million. I have seen token where it was red flags for me when it was 400 million, because you need a lot of money suddenly. But just imagine if the team owns 60% of the token and just let go to the circulating supply out of the market right there. You need suddenly a lot of, there's not enough demand. You need a lot of demand to sustain these kind of levels, these price levels. So 40 million, if these ever get out, and this is the 100% token, get out in the circulating supply, then yeah, we didn't need a lot, because otherwise it will concern me, because we couldn't sustain these kind of prices. Now, as for the fundamentals, there have been a lot of FUD around the team. Some of them are legit, other ones are nonsense because they are losing value in the token. So of course, the emotion are saying they are panicking at the moment. Is everyone falls, especially the team, but not themselves? Tweet something so they can moon their bags. However, the one that was legit is of course the communication problem MultiVAC team still have. And that is, they are not communicating with the investors or with the developer teams who are trying to build on MultiVAC. Now that is a big problem. However, Shawn has been trying to hire someone. So far he's been hiring Cathy, what I know. I also post this on my Twitter. And she will be responsible for the communication problem MultiVAC have. Now she have not been active so far, but she did write in Telegram that she is sorry, but she is dealing with a lot of things. And she is going to have a construction of the MultiVAC ecosystem. And every Monday and Wednesday, someone will collect information and send it to her, which is a bullish thing in my opinion. This was one of my biggest concerns, the communication, which Shawn have shown that he's still in this. He's hiring new members now. So one of these concerns are removed, but there's still another concern, and that's the GitHub problem. I'm not seeing a lot of activity, and I know Shawn has resources from the MultiVAC token. He can sell some, use some of the money to hire new people, as he's done with Cathy. So hopefully Shawn is looking for new developers to build on MultiVAC, because I'm not seeing a lot of activity, and that is a red flag for me. Now, I'm not trying to spread thought. You guys know I'm very bullish on MultiVAC, and Shawn have proven himself over and over for the years that he is trying to do better and better. The one was the communication, which we just saw as a new member to tackle this problem. Now the last problem will be development team. Now let's jump to the daily chart, guys, instead, and look at the short term. Like I was saying, we are in the Wyckoff accumulation area. There's no guarantee, but I do believe we are around this area. Now instead of just looking at this chart, let's zoom in. All right. So what we are seeing now is the Wyckoff accumulation zoomed in. Remember, I broke it into pieces. This is one piece, all right? So what we need to see right there is the SC. Now SC is the selling climax, all right? Where there's a lot of selling pressure and people are, getting shaken out pretty much. And then we suddenly see an automatically rally to the upside. If we see this, they are aligned with the Wyckoff accumulation. So we are waiting for the selling climax, and then we're waiting for the automatic rally. Once this happens and we are going to the ST is the secondary test, and we are testing the support, these areas, we'll see some consolidation, all right? Then we have a confirmation that this is actually the Wyckoff accumulation. This is a demand zone. This is a Wyckoff accumulation where we accumulate more. Now the most important area will be the spring, all right? Because the spring will most likely be around this area, which almost close to the selling climbs. Again, we have a lot of thought at these areas, MultiVAC is there, the team is there, thought, all these kind of things. When we hear these kind of things in the emotion and we see the spring, all right, the spring is the shakeout. When we see the shakeout and we see that there's building tension, that is also where there will be a huge rally to the upside. And we will again make 10x, 100x, and so on. These are the Wyckoff accumulation. This is what I focus on when I do long-term trading. All right, it have helped me tremendous in 6-7 years. I've done it. It helped me with the other ADA. It helped me with Solana and all these kind of things. And I also showed you guys when I did Solana and all these kind of things. 4 years ago, I was showing you guys Cardano when it was low, and now I'm showing you MultiVAC. I do believe it has high potential, but it's also high risk. Now, if you also just look at the short-term fast trading, all right, let's just do something like this. We can see at the moment in the daily chart we are oversold, so we will see some kind of bounce to the upside. As you guys are seeing, this is a resistance area, and at the moment we are not going above the resistance. We have to go above the resistance area, guys. At the side stock, again, we are oversold, but we are bouncing back, nothing significant. And the MACD is just telling us the momentum is switching in the daily. All right, guys, we have some bullish momentum, but nothing significant to say, wait, we're going to the upside again. In my opinion, we will have selling clear climax and then automatically rally. This might even be the selling climax right over here. All right. And then we will have an automatic rally. So just wait for this automatic rally. Don't FOMO in and see if it does hold in the Wyckoff accumulation area. Now, what we also have to focus on, and I know this video was longer than anticipated, but this is kind of important, in my opinion, is of course the SMA, the 21, 30, and 50 SMA. In the daily, we are below that. Or every time we are below that, we're testing it. All right, we are in a downtrend. Just look right there and right there. It is trying to go above it. Remember, once we are above it, I will be a lot more bullish and say, all right, I will buy more because now I'm more confident about this. But at the moment, we are below it. We are trying to fight it. And at the moment, it's also being used as a resistance level. So you guys see every time we try to go above, we go down. We hit the 21, 30, and the white is the 50 SMA, and we go down every time. And we almost going to hit it, but there was way too much resistance. And the VPVR also taking us right at this price levels. There will be heavy resistance at this level. Let me just show you instead. Right over here, there will be heavy resistance, guys. Now this can also be our automatic rally before we hit the resistance and go down again. It can happen. But as always, guys, remember that every altcoin and MultiVAC is correlated with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin crashes, altcoins follow. That is why I'm saying that in the Wyckoff accumulation, we can see a selling climax, a more downside for MultiVAC. This is a possibility, no guarantee. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just saying what I see. So again, remember, everything is correlated with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is correlated with the traditional market. So traditional market is overbought and, it's just selling off. Bitcoin most likely will follow, and altcoins will follow with it. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance and the altcoin dominance, we are seeing, if you've been following my channel, you know what it is. We are seeing that my second support, as I made here, it is bouncing back, but it's looking like it's going to break down. Once this break down, there will be a rally for altcoin, and MultiVAC will be one of them, which will also rally. If you look at the crypto fear index, we are still in fear. I bet you that tomorrow will be at neutral or maybe greedy even, because we had some upside for Bitcoin and the sentiment is changing, but we are in a fear and greed index. Remember, I always buy at fear and sell at greed. A lot of people are saying altcoin season, altcoin season. I'm going to say it all the time, again. There's no altcoin season in my opinion, and according to this chart, there's not an altcoin season yet, more Bitcoin season. If you look at this chart, at the top 50 performance over the last 90 days, you guys seeing there's not a lot of altcoins which have done proper run up. All right, and altcoin season, these things do 1000% in a proper altcoin season. I remember from 2017 to 18, it was just insane. It was Ethereum. Since you got to the end of this video, I assume you enjoyed it, so I recommend you to watch the next recommended video on the left corner. See you in the Discord server, guys.